Okay, hello students. In this video, we are going to start with chapter 6, SQL. Uh, in this video, we will explain how to define data in or using SQL language and what are the data types we have in this language, how to specify constraints using SQL, how to write basic queries in order to retrieve data from tables using SQL language. Also, we are going to learn how to insert, delete, and update uh, data in the tables using special statements in this language SQL. And also, we'll take additional features for this SQL language. So, first of all, we need to define what is SQL language. SQL language considered one of the major reasons for the commercial success of relational databases. So any relational database, uh, in order to succeed, it must use SQL language in its system in order to retrieve data, in order to create data, organize them, and also to make manipulation operations on this data. Okay, so SQL is short for structured query or query language. Uh, it uh, it have it has statements for data definitions, how to define data or create tables, create databases. It has statements for queries, select statements, and others, and updates, operations, or statements. So it has both DDL statements and DML statements. DDL statements are short for data definition language statements, and DML statements are short for data manipulation language statements. Okay, we need to know that SQL is not a programming language. However, it is a query language. Okay, so it's different from programming languages like Java, C Sharp, C++. These are programming languages. However, SQL is a query language. The SQL commands can be used interactively as query language within the DBMS, or SQL commands can be embedded within the programming languages. This means that you can use directly the SQL commands within the database management system which you are using, or you can use these commands embedded within the programming languages you are using in your application. For example, if you are using Java, then you should embed the comments or the SQL comments you want to run in program on the comments or in the statements using that programming language you are using, or you can use them directly within the database management system you are using. For example, MySQL, Oracle, and there is many and there is plenty of DBMS uh, in the commercial use. Okay, so as we have said that we have for SQL comments are of two types: DDL comments and DML comments. DDL comments include defining a database, how to create a database, alter a database, for example, adding a column, removing a column, or drop a database or tables. Here DDL includes creation, alter, and drop for a table or a database. Data manipulation language (DML) includes commands that maintain and query a database. For example, select operations, update operations, insert operations, and so on. Delete operations. Each statement in SQL ends with a semicolon. So after writing your SQL command, you must end it with a semicolon. Okay. Now we want to differentiate between the SQL concept and the relational concept. So in the relational concept, we deal with relations, and in each relation we have tuples, and each tuple consists of values on the attributes. How to map from this relational concept to the SQL concept? In SQL concept, each relation becomes now a table. It's called now a table, and each tuple is now called a row, and each attribute is now called a column. So the terminology used in SQL are tables for relations, rows for tuples, and columns for attributes.